When it comes to getting a task done, we usually face a lot of challenges, and some of the challenges are understandable and they should be there. That's the whole point of doing and getting things done. It's the process that leads to something good at the end. But the process has some challenges, and if those challenges are not in place, then there is no reason to do anything. But some of those challenges are induced by our own actions and they shouldn't even be there. And they exist simply out of our fear. Our fear is the thing that makes doing things not fun, makes a challenging thing extremely difficult, and at times we forget about it. Personally, when it comes to dieting and eating healthy, I didn't start it until I realized that I gained a lot of weight. And then I was like, oh my god, I'm scared. I went to the doctor and I found out that I have cholesterol, I found out I have high blood pressure, and I was like, I need to do something about it. Fear induced in my body, and I tried to do something, but I failed. And I failed and I failed and I failed. I never managed to get rid of my excess weight. And the reason was that it was all of my motivation was based on a fear that I had of becoming obese, getting a heart problem, or having high cholesterol. Thus, I never achieved what I wanted to achieve. Here's where this notion comes in hand. We think that if fear is induced, then we act. But study shows that it's quite the opposite, and fear has nothing to do with it. Let me give you an example. Let's talk about animals for a second. If you scare an animal, now doesn't matter what type of animal, any animal, what do? They usually freeze or they flee. We are the same. When we are scared, there's two things outcome that comes from it. Either we freeze right there and then and we don't do anything, or we just run away from whatever it is. If it's a problem, if it's a task, we just run away from it, or we just simply don't do it. This is where the boomerang effect happens. I started diet because I'm scared of my weight, and I do something about it, but then I come right back where I started. And that's the problem. We shouldn't do things because we are afraid of the consequences. We should do things because we want to do them. So we need to change our thinking process. I started dieting after 15 years simply because I wanted to be healthy. I wanted to eat good food, and I wanted to I became obsessed with those numbers, and I want my numbers to be in line. And that's where I started, and it's been going for a couple of years, and I managed to lose about 40 pounds simply because, not because I was afraid, but because I wanted to do something. And I highlighted the progress, not the decline. Before, I used to go on the scale when I lose weight or when my weight is really low, and whenever I gained weight or I knew that I ate too much, I avoid going on scale. So I used to punish myself all the time, tell myself that I'm not good, I can't do this. But it's time for us to highlight the progress, and whatever it is, the progress is a progress. It could be as little as just, instead of putting 2 packs of sugar in my tea, just put 1 pack. That's just it. That's a progress, and you need to understand it. And it's time to take it down. Now, what I mean by take it down, it's to write things down. Do a pro and cons list. This is really important. It needs to give you motivated. The problem that we have is that we do something and we are assuming that we are motivated just because we want to do something. For example, New Year resolution. New Year resolution is just a joke to me because I think of it as people just going on the new year, deciding that they want to do something, so they set a goal, that is usually 90% is unreachable, they continue it for a couple of weeks and they lose interest. And that's because they're not motivated by the process, they're only motivated by the goal itself. You need to understand, in order to reach something, you have to go through a process. And whatever that process is, it takes some time and it requires the motivation of doing and being in that process. As long as you understand this aspect of it, you are good to go. Take baby step, small changes that you can build up on it, and try to get help. Getting help is the most important thing that you can do. Now, I don't mean hire a coach, watch my videos, or go read tons of books. Ask your friends, ask your family, ask someone. There is a study done by Joseph Granny and his team that shows if you have 6 or more people in your team, you are 40% more likely to make a change that you want to make. So, with that notion, imagine you reroute your thinking, come out of that fear state, understand the things that you want to do and the goal that you want to achieve, and be motivated by that middle part. Here's you, here's your goal, and here's the process. Be motivated by that process. And on top of that, get a couple of your friends, your colleagues, your coach, whoever on your side. Imagine the possibilities that you can have. It's not that difficult to get these things in line. It just requires a little bit of adjustment in our thinking, in our habits, and in our circle. And as always, there is no change without you taking that first step.